Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube. Welcome to Jibber Jabber. As always, I am your host, Skajarmas, otherwise known as Tone Shift. Let's just talk for a while. Joining me today as my guests, we have, if I can find them on the list of people, here we are. We have Darkness, who's kind of at the moment just sitting right there smiling into space.
Hello again, and it's an honor to be here again.
Of course it is. We also have, joining him and I, the author of the Change series, author of the Patreon-exclusive reading Soaring on Little Wings, and co-author on many Idiocyverse stories, Tom117Z. Yay, now Darkness isn't sitting alone over there. The Brits are together.
Hey-o.
Yep. Next up, we have, just kinda chilling out in the background, staring into your soul, Paladin.
Souls.
Yes. And flying in from off screen to punch him in the face is Malafor.
Hello, my little pretties.
And last but not least, we have Hades, who is also here.
Wow. But no one cares about that, so moving on.
I've been keeping an eye on
Fuck you
Malaport,
too,
though.
Tom. Fuck you too.
So, how has everyone's week been?
Eh.
It's
Flat.
been pretty laid back.
It's been a while.
Normal.
Yeah. So, just as a quick heads up to everyone watching this, yes, this episode is coming out later than usual. You are not mistaken. And there is a reason for this. Namely, it's because I had a phone call that I had to answer, which I just got done with like 5 minutes ago, less than that even, which was kind of important, but I won't go into details about it right here because, again, kind of sensitive information regarding like PayPal and bank accounts and shit, so I won't go into detail. But
It's basically just his fault, so just blame him.
Thanks, Hades. Thank you very much. Way to throw me under the fucking bus. Huh?
Anytime.
All right, so. Oh, I hurt myself. Anyways.
Make sure it's a big bus.
Yeah, then the wheels will miss me, and I'll just kind of be sitting under it and not getting run over. Anyways.
Just because big doesn't mean it's high off the ground. It can have very low suspension.
So, first topic for today, I would like to give a status report on that Dr. Whooves project that Tom and I are working on.
It's alive!
Yeah, we're making progress. The script for episode 5 is about halfway done, and voice recording for episode 1 is currently in progress. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that last time, but we've actually got the lines for the Doctor in now, all of them, to the point that I was actually able to assemble one of the scenes where he and a monster, who I voiced, were the only characters present. So one of the scenes has... Fuck, I dropped the thing. One of the scenes is already fully produced, which is great. It gave me a bit of a refresher course in how editing this kind of shit together goes. Very nice to know. Very nice to have that refresher. Now, as things stand, when it comes to other lines, the lines for Bon Bon in the first episode are presumably being recorded today. I'll have to check on that after we're done here with Jibber Jabber. But then the lines for Lyra and Derpy will probably take a cumulatively 2 to 4 weeks to complete. And then after that, I'm going to have to sit my sorry arsehole down and set to work assembling the scenes. Each scene has a tendency to take a few hours to make depending on the length, as was evidenced by scene 8, the one I assembled yesterday, which came out to be 8 minutes when done with it, and took an hour or two to throw together. So, with all of that in mind, and judging that I do have a bunch of other projects on the side, I am currently very tentatively going to say that the first episode of Doctor Who's The Living Legacy will be sometime in early to mid-October. Now don't hold me to that. Who knows what kind of horrifying disasters could impede progress up till then, but if things go smoothly from now, which I'm sure they won't, then an early to mid-October release window is what we're looking at. So there you go. There's your Doctor Who's status update. Twin Peaks hasn't had any noteworthy updates yet.
Blank. We're waiting on you, Blank.
Blank page. Everyone at mention blank page. Spam the fuck out of him. No, don't do that. We already did that.
Dang it.
I'm about to say these guys do it anyway.
We did it once.
Yes, and it was fun and amusing.
You weren't even there.
Wait, I wasn't? I thought I was.
No.
It's
You're not in Twin Peaks.
Dipshit.
Oh.
It's me, Blank, Brian, and Hades.
That's it. That's all there is.
Sorry, I'm
Oh.
having a blank moment.
Oh!
oh,
Oh, fuck you! Sideways
that was-
with a
That's
shovel.
legit.
I was
That's-
just about to give you the benefit of the doubt, Paladin, then you fucked it up. Yep.
That's your Jibber Jabber privilege is
Yeah,
gone.
we're good without a pun.
Oh no.
God.
Twisted man.
Oh God.
Well, that was Jibber Jabber this week. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Paladin fucked it up again.
Okay, I gotta segue into talking about this because Paladin, you are the second most infuriating person I've ever met when it comes to puns. Fucking Jesus.
Only the second. Then who's the first?
I try to do the best I can.
I want to hear who the first one is. Tom.
He's
Come on,
not.
tell us.
He's not someone any of you have ever met, as far as I recall. He goes by D Fat Man on the internet.
Oh God.
I have heard his name mentioned before.
Yeah.
New to me.
He actually runs his own weekly podcast type thing called Fatty Time. I'm not sure if it's still on the Mix FM, but might as well talk about that for a minute. That particular thing, Fatty Time, is actually where I got the inspiration for Jibber Jabber.
Of course.
Yeah, the catchphrase for Fatty Time is, now you're not drinking alone. The whole point is it doesn't have a specific focus or specific set of topics. They did talk about the Humble Bundle every week. That's kind of just a thing they plugged. But outside of that, topics could range really widely from any number of things, from My Little Pony to Star Trek to Star Wars to political bullshit to reading off tweets from fucking California Man or whoever Florida Man, I think it was, actually. Whichever state it was where really weird shit just happens and is the norm. I think it's Florida Man,
Wow.
where just weird shit happens. And in general, the whole show is just kind of talk about random shit, which is where, like I said, where the inspiration for Jibber Jabber came from. Now, of course,
Because we talk about random shit.
yeah, of course, the difference here is that
All the
Jibber.
time.
Yeah, of course, the difference here is that Jibber Jabber is more My Little Pony focused. MLP was discussed a lot in Fatty Time, but it wasn't the central theme. There wasn't a central theme, but here ponies is the central theme, more or less. So,
Until we get off on a tangent of somebody either being drunk or doing something stupid.
well, yeah,
Of
but I mean, like
course.
everyone in here.
Which
Is,
I've got one on that today.
well, yeah, but I mean, like we're all bronies in here, so.
Hey,
Anyway, and also there's another difference is that this isn't live streamed. This is all recorded beforehand. So, like
It needs to be so we can edit it all, because that's totally what we do.
I don't
We totally edit it.
I don't edit any of this. I think the only time I
He's
actually,
lying, audience.
I'm
He
not-
edits it all. He
No.
changes what we say. He's a
Not-
monster.
no,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Can I get a word in here edgewise?
No.
Maybe.
Nope.
Tough. I don't edit anything you guys say. That's just a statistic fact. The closest thing to actually editing I do at this thing is very slight live modifications I do to the video feed. Specifically swapping out topic text. I do that live. And there was one time in a few episodes back where you all were torturing me, and I slapped in a giant picture of Celestia looking offended with big impact text in black font with a red outline
Oh,
saying,
that was ages
No!
ago.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that.
Oh, that was one of the best, eh, Tom?
I'm trying to remember which one it was that we tortured you with, because there's so many.
It'll be easy enough to spot. It's the only one where the thumbnail is Celestia.
I
looking
know
pissed.
which episode it is. I'm just trying to remember what the topic was.
I believe it was several topics, I believe. I believe one was a discussion where we wanted to get you and Blank to coordinate being drunk together.
Okay.
Oh, we're still doing that.
Oh wow. That would have been a party.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be. It's to be confirmed, but it's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
That's gonna happen.
I'm sure it is.
I would want to be in that.
And it's gonna they're gonna get drunk off their asses. They're gonna jump right into
We have to
Lurker's Lane.
coordinate. I mean,
Unless
I'm
they
going
jump-
back to university Wednesday, so after that I can coordinate.
I'm about to say, yeah, then just jump right into Lurker's Lane, and let's drag Tone in there,
It's Jibber
screaming.
Jabber.
Or on Jibber Jabber. Why not do it on Jibber Jabber?
Let's listen to these two drunk idiots for a while.
And while I'm laughing my ass off, you two are talking.
And then we can have a contest and see what the audience thinks. Who's more fun drunk, Tom or Blank?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyways. Now,
I love how they said that in unison.
I've trained you people well. Now then, we have.
More like we just think alike, but sure.
Like I said, I've trained you people well.
Is it
Yeah,
really
like-
you training us, or is it us training you?
No.
Yeah.
Now then, I have another topic to get to now. And Tom,
Shameless plugging.
and Tom might be able to give some input onto this one. Spoiler warning for any of you who may or may not be reading through the Little Flashes series. I did a reading of Little Glimpses, but I'm going to be talking about stories that come after that here. So if any of you listening to this are interested in that series but haven't read ahead, well, now would be a good time to either fast forward or click away and go do that and then come back, although that's a hefty load to ask because that's a lot of time. Anyways.
Here's another little assignment for you listeners. Spam the comment section and tell him to do little choices and little consequences for his reading.
No.
On drunk.
We all want to hear your interpretation of Thorax. We all want to hear it.
It's terrible.
I know. That's why we want to hear it.
Shall we have a demonstration?
No.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
The votes are
No.
against you.
Anyways, I might do a reading of choices as a Patreon exclusive in the future. Who fucking knows? Anyway,
Just do a thorax impression. That's all.
no. Not right now. I'm not talking about that. Now, shut
No,
up.
I mean, later.
Shut.
Wait to the improvisation section.
Anyways, so
Moving on.
couple stories down the line from Little Glimpses is a story entitled Little Consequences, the third story in the series. Primarily takes place in the Crystal Empire. Like, that's where the vast majority of the story takes place. I think there are only, like, when all will be said and done, less than 10 chapters that actually take place outside of the Crystal Empire. Most of it is inside the Empire, either in an abandoned house, a library, or the palace. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because on account of the basic order of events in the story, as well as the fact that it's mostly in one location, when I was starting it, I was under the impression that it was going to be the shortest entry in the series. Little Glimpses was 40 chapters long. Little Choices was 57 chapters long. I was expecting Little Consequences to clock in somewhere in the 30s.
How wrong you were.
I was very, very wrong, yes. As it is right now, it has actually exceeded Little Choices in word count while still having significantly fewer chapters. As I mentioned, Little Choices was 57 chapters long. Little Consequences right now is 44 chapters long. And it's longer than Little Choices by about 100 words. And I just find it interesting to look back on the road the story has taken and reflect on it and kind of piece together why I think it blew up so much in length and depth and scope and scale, I guess.
And I can answer that with 2 words. Thorax and Wind Whisper.
That's 4 words. Anyways.
Well, 2 names, I guess.
There you go. But that's definitely a big part of it. Like Hades just pointed out, there is a huge subplot revolving around Thorax and an OC bat pony filly named Wind Whisper. That,
Adorable.
That, from my point of view, is frankly the best part of the whole story. If it weren't hinged upon everything else happening with the main story, I would almost consider that subplot to be the story itself. But
Wind stole the story. That's enough said.
Yeah, it's not really, but it's definitely a big part of it. Wind Whisper and Thorax have a very in-depth and kind of I don't necessarily want to say complicated, but multifaceted relationship of sorts. And they've both had a very significant character arc since they were both introduced back in Little Choices. In Little Choices, they were introduced with Thorax being extremely hesitant, unsure of himself, and almost kind of a coward. His main defining decision in the story, of course, was, for one thing, his hesitance to do anything asked of him by the Hive, by Chrysalis, by his superiors in the Hive, because most of it was aggressive and harmful and cruel, and he didn't think like that. He didn't want to be cruel or selfish. He didn't want to hurt others. And so in the aftermath of the Canterlot invasion, he finally, as in canon, he finally decided enough was enough and stepped away from it all. The difference here is the invasion succeeded, so he was running away as a deserter from a successful attack. And a big part of what actually drove him to flee this time wasn't just months of rumination on his part in it. It was actually a spur-of-the-moment decision. The pony he had replaced in the invasion, a lunar guard named Squall Dreamer, while for one thing was innocent himself, also had a very young, not even cutie mark acquired little sister named Wind Whisper, who Thorax for the last 2 days had spent trace amounts of time around because, he'd replaced Squall. So he finally sort of figured out, that this is bad, and so in a moment of resolve, I guess, he still disguised as Squall, took Wind, and left Canterlot with the sole intention of just taking her as far away as possible and waiting for the whole changeling issue to blow over. He didn't initially have any plans of linking up with Rainbow Dash and the rest of the main six. He was briefly planning on stopping and giving them some intel and moving on, but he wound up being brought into the fold by them, so to speak, thanks to Twilight and Thorax's disguise failing in front of her. Yeah, and from there, the subplot between them has been revolving heavily around Thorax trying to take care of Wind Whisper without revealing that he's a changeling to her, and at the same time also trying to learn more about her so he can better mimic Squall. And eventually, however, this is, as I mentioned earlier, spoilers and shit, eventually this leads to his disguise outright failing in front of Wind Whisper about halfway through Little Consequences, maybe a little less than halfway.
A bit of snarling in there.
Yeah. It failed out of an instinctual need to eat shit. So he had that problem springing up, and it was very disgruntling and very traumatizing for Wind Whisper because she realized then that this whole time, these last few weeks, her brother had never even been there. He's been a prisoner in a city they were miles and miles away from.
I was going to ask, since you're the author of it, what happened to her brother?
He was imprisoned in the caves beneath Canterlot along with many other replaced ponies. So as of right now, he's in a changeling harvesting cocoon.
He's a monster. Tone is a monster.
Thank you. So, dang. What, were you hoping to offend me by telling me what I am?
No, I'm just stating a fact.
Yeah, I know. And I said thank you. It's about time someone noticed it.
I'd say it's more for the audience than you.
Some people don't know that yet.
I'd say it's for the audience, not you.
Yeah. Anyways. That's a weird fucking thing. Anyways. But it's more than just that subplot, I think, that's caused Little Consequences to become so lengthy. A lot lengthier than I was expecting.
I was going to say, then, of course, there's the Starlight's bullshit.
I mean, that was actually planned from the onset to be a very major plot thread. I was planning from the start for Starlight to be one of the main characters there. Although, granted, I was expecting her to be more antagonistic for longer. But she wound up being more victimized than antagonistic. To be fair, a lot of that boils down to circumstances around Consequences being different than I had originally planned. And that's a story for a whole different time. But right now I'm just trying to lay out the reasons why I think Little Consequences became so long. And one of the other big ones is I just got better at writing. Like, if you go back and look at Little Glimpses and then compare it to Little Consequences, especially the more recent chapters, there is a very clear and very enormous disparity in the quality there. Little Glimpses, while good enough in premise and execution to get featured, was still in many respects in retrospect, it had a lot of problems. Some were subtle, some were not. Some of my explanations for plot threads were kind of and some of my writing technique left a lot to be desired. I had a very heavy over-reliance on descriptive words that ended with "ly," for example.
No one's perfect.
Yeah, no one's perfect, but even since then, it's more than just my writing style, but I've gotten better at characterization, character interactions, dialogue exchanges, environmental descriptions, describing bodily movements, even the subtlest of things like twitches of the ears or of the face, shifting on one's hooves, the ruffling of wings. All of these tiny little body language movements to help convey the emotions of characters in ways that words cannot, which is a big thing that I've gone out of my way to try and capitalize on, is more the show, don't tell. I tried not to have exposition unless, the chapter's being told like from the third person point of view of one of the characters. And usually with Chrysalis that becomes an issue where I will, go ahead and provide some mild exposition from their point of view. But generally speaking, I try to avoid exposition entirely outside of dialogue, and even then, I try to make it seem natural. And a big part of what's helped me with that is treating the whole series as if someone had never encountered much of this before. It's a mentality I started picking up around Little Consequences, where when I'm sitting down to write an MLP fanfic, I try to keep in mind the possibility that some of the people I might show this to are completely unfamiliar with MLP, its lore, or its characters.
Which seems a bit odd if they're going to read it. I mean, it's just...
My family being the main ones. Mom and Dad, they don't know a whole lot about it, but they're more than happy to look at the shit I make for it. Like, my mom read all Little Glimpses. She read the last half of it on Christmas Day.
Nice.
She kind of plunked at it periodically over the weeks leading up to Christmas Day, and then sat down, and once she got to the last 10 chapters, because the last 10 chapters are apparently where Little Glimpses really got good. And in retrospect, I would agree. That was probably the best part of the story, because it was more focused.
See, I think my mother would enjoy the story too, but...
I mean...
He also showed his mother Change, but she didn't read it all because it got too dark, apparently.
Yeah.
I think my sister's going to enjoy Change.
I'm about to say, Tom, you did kind of get a wee bit carried away throughout all that.
Well, I got
carried away. Everything wasn't carried away. It was all intentional.
How about
the whole point of it.
Yes, especially with how you killed Chrysalis, basically.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yes, I'm about to say, you horrible person, you.
You utter bastard.
She wasn't the only person.
Killed Buckhorse.
Yes. Now,
I didn't kill. Buckhorse is still alive. She's the main character. She only almost got killed.
I'm about to say he killed Buckhorse's mom, or at least in that universe.
He killed Queen Bugbutt.
He killed Buckbutt.
Buckhorse is still alive.
Now then, so.
And then he killed Draco. That was a dick move.
He also killed Longshot.
Yes.
Dick!
Rest in peace.
Now then, so.
And Scorpion.
Speaking of
Scorpion didn't really even have much. You just kind of killed him outright in the freaking.
He was a red shirt.
Let us have our fun, Tone.
Well, speaking of... What the
What?
Speaking of change, as I understand it, that particular story was never actually meant to become quite as humongous as it has. We've talked about it before, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to just quickly go over it.
It was originally designed to be 12 chapters long.
And then it became 60 chapters. Holy shit.
Yeah. Plus multiple sequels.
I'm on an episode of Change in MLP. That could be amazing.
Which is, the whole 12 chapters thing is also partially why Act 1 is kind of has a time skip and a disconnect from the other two. Which is honestly my least favorite part of Change. the disconnect between the two acts, but that was a symptom of it changing. Pun intended.
Uh,
Yeah. Fun times all around.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then it
especially
kept
the sound.
spawning more and more sequels, and he's got yet another sequel.
Well, I said now. I mean, there was Queen of the High. I'm now finishing up Avia, and in a few weeks I'm getting the cover art finished for New Kingdom, which looks to be cool. So, and then I'll start it pretty much immediately.
And this is the one where, and I quote from Tom here, where he will fuck us all with the darkness.
Speaking of darkness,
My old friend.
dark.
Oh,
yeah,
you.
Sorry. Perfect segue into the next topic. I could not resist. Anyways, so darkness. Malivore said you have stories of a dumbass to share.
Oh, yes. I thought this might come up at some point.
We're all ears.
Oh, okay then. Out of all the many friends I never thought I would actually make in my life, how the heck did I get stuck with Ben?
I already like this.
Mm-mm. He likes to go by the name of Ben Cooper for some reason. I gave him the nickname of Ben Fuck Up.
So basically, he's the paladin of your group.
Oh, uncalled for. Shots fired.
You're on Hades.
Kill the boulder. Frieza did it.
I'll make sure.
Oh, yes. Love references.
Very sorry, darkness. Continue.
That's okay. Okay. I suppose it's the start when basically he was left alone, thinking that he was responsible to look after the house while his parents worked and his brother was away training to be in the army. For he always fancied the military. And for once, it was a rare opportunity to have a nice, relaxing day off, do whatever I want for once, until the phone just rang right in the middle of my relaxing time. So I thought, okay, who is it today? Oh, Ben. Hey, Ben, what's up? Do you know how to cook? Yes, why do you ask? Could you cook for me? Wait, what? What, right now? Yeah, I'm hungry. Are you kidding me?
Tell him to order a fucking pizza.
Well, he was too dumb for that.
I did say, can't you get a takeaway or something? I mean, there's a few shops just across the road. Nah, I don't really want to spend any of my money. Really, man?
Really?
But listen, I can't really come round there right now, okay? I mean, surely you know how to cook. I mean, for goodness sake. You're like 2 years older than me. You can do it. Well, I suppose I could do soup. Yes, that's food. You can eat that.
It gets
But how do
better.
I cook it? What? How do I cook it? It's fucking soup. What do you mean, how do you cook it?
In
You
his-
take it out of the can, you put it in the pan, you cook it. Give me strength, please. Stop. Look. You see the soup in the damn cupboard, right? Yep. Good. Get the can opener, open it up, just put it on there, and then turn on the cooker. And keep an eye on it and stir it, and voila! You got yourself nice soup. All you have to do is just put it in a bowl. You're salted, okay? I mean, your parents are not gone out of town. They will be back, I suppose, but they're going to be out for a long while. Well, soup will keep you fed, okay? But right now, I just want to relax on my rare opportunity of having a day off from stressful work. Thank you. Okay. And then, about a few moments later, as I got up from my chair, I saw, oh, Please don't say that smoke is coming from Ben's house.
I had a feeling.
Was it?
I had a feeling.
Was it?
It was. Yep. It was pouring out the window. I was like, really? Oh, thank Ben. So I had to see what he had frickin' done. I quickly grabbed my keys, ran down the stairs, washed out the house, making sure the door was shut, and then run all the way down the road to Ben. Like, Ben, what the hell's going on in there? Why is there black smoke coming out? Thank goodness you're here. I was going to call you because I'm a bit worried. A bit worried? There's fucking black smoke coming out the window. What do you mean a bit worried? Open the bloody door. All right. I walked in and the fuck did you do to the kitchen?
Oh,
I have a story after this that's very similar.
oh God.
Yeah.
How?
What did he do to the kitchen? What all had happened? Like describe, like
There's
paint the
bloody
scene for us.
smoke everywhere. What's going on? I was gonna phone, but I didn't think you wouldn't be bothered or disturbed, so I didn't want to call you. For fuck that! What's going on? What the hell? I didn't leave it, if that's what you were asking, but I wondered, how do I know it's finished? What do you mean, how do you know it's finished? Cooking. It's bloody soup. Look! It's not soup anymore, it's a black mess! You're burning the pan, you fucking idiots!
Did he put the soup on the hob or did he put it in the oven? Or, God, don't tell me. Please don't tell me just put it in the fucking grill or something.
No, he did everything right, except he didn't know when it was cooked or not, so he just kept cooking it.
In his defense, I don't know when that is either. I never
When it's
bothered to look.
bubbling and smoking, it's probably cooked.
Yes.
When it's billowing
doesn't
black smoke
like
threatening to
that,
burn the
that's
house down, it's definitely cooked.
That is dangerous, but like, this is actually something I wouldn't mind knowing. When's the threshold for soup to know it's done? Usually.
Well, there's many ways to test this. If you have a little thermometer that's designed for it, you can put it in there and if you reach temperature, it's done. Or you could, I suppose, quickly dip your finger to see if it's hot. But obviously,
You could also just look at the timer on the back. It says on the back of the can and cook it for that
You
amount
can
of
even
time.
use a spoon.
So yeah, I mean, once you see it steaming hot and it just generates a lot of heat, it's done.
All right.
But as for him, he did a really stupid thing. I think, didn't you try to turn it off? Well, yeah, but you didn't bother to turn it off, did you? You didn't even move the
Yeah, I'm just
fucking
gonna
hell.
leave. I'm gonna say
What the hell's happened to the handle? Hell, my hand. It's fucking melting. What the hell?
Jesus Christ!
What did he have it on full heat just forever? Like what?
I was gonna warn you. When I fucking put my hand on it. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is beautiful.
So I managed to turn it off, got a frickin' oven mint, and put it in the fucking sink, and put it under cold water. But my goodness, it was a mess. From where it basically overcooked, the soup splashed everywhere. The fucking filth pan is fucking burnt, and there's black smoke everywhere. And my goodness, it was a mess.
Oh, and by the way, this wasn't the end of this little adventure.
Yeah, let darkness tell
Which is coming
darkness'
to the
story.
end.
I
Coming to
am.
the end. Right. You are gonna actually, just to make sure you don't lie and try to blame it on me, because I just got here. You're gonna make sure your parents know what you just frickin' done. Why? Because you nearly burned down the frickin' house. You moron. Jesus. Okay. Give me a minute. I need to take a deep breath and calm down. Okay. Because now I'm gonna do the simple thing I should have done. I'm gonna order pizza and pay for it for you. Okay. That will keep you fed. Just don't touch anything else. I get you pizza. But I'm not much of a fan of pizza. You are gonna have that fucking pizza and eat it. Okay.
Just get him.
What pizza did you get him? Did you just get him pineapple or something? Shit.
He's gonna have his pineapple and eat it. He's gonna have his pizza and eat it too.
Yeah.
You should have made him pay for it.
Choose that little
I was tempted to, but I did not want to get in that argument of spending my money or waste it. It's not a waste for pizza, okay?
Teach that trout some responsibility.
He nearly burnt his house down, and you're
exactly.
He gave Sweetheart. He gave Sweetheart a bad name.
What to say?
I mean,
Continue, please.
yes. And of course, the parents did eventually got home, and they were not amused, and they would never, ever let him near the stove ever again.
I would.
Unsupervised.
So, I have a friend who burnt macaroni cheese.
Oh.
How did he do that?
She,
Or she?
it's my roommate at university.
Is this the one
like-
where you got? Is this the one that you got drinks with and came back drunk, just all blaming? Yeah, it was her birthday.
Yeah, that was her birthday. This was her first attempt at cooking.
Oh dear.
This is something we'll never let her forget. I think it was third or fourth week at university. So I'd already had dinner by this point. She was coming late because she had later classes. I just had a ready meal, and then I gone back to my room. I passed her on the way out saying she was making macaroni cheese. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. I'll go and see you in a little while then. So I go back to my room. I'm there for about 10 minutes, and then the fire alarm goes off.
What?
So the fire alarm in the entire building, Peter Taylor House, is blaring. Everyone evacuates. I don't know what's going on at this point. I don't know whether it's a drill or someone's lit a match or what. So we all go to the evacuation point. We were in kitchen 116 at this point. So we're just hanging out there. She's completely clueless. She doesn't know what's going on. And then eventually, like, we're just waiting for them to call out who did it, and then all of a sudden they call out, "Kitchen 116, come talk to us, please." So I'm like, at this point, like, okay, what the fuck? Like, I'm asking them what's going on. They're clueless. So we go talk to the people that run Peter Taylor House, and they just start saying, "You burnt your macaroni and cheese." Like, what? Anna doesn't seem to think she's done anything wrong, so we then go upstairs back to 116 once it's all been cleared and everyone's allowed back in the building. I look into the pan, it's fucking charcoal.
Oh.
It's literally turned into charcoal.
Okay.
Well, I feel a lot better about myself on the macaroni.
I'm about
I
to
was
say.
made-
There wasn't any macaroni left, it was just black rock inside the pan.
How burn macaroni that bad? Did she just fucking go leave
I don't even know how she did it. It was just she didn't even have the extractor fan on, so eventually it just started smoking, and the fire alarm picked it up, and
Talk to anyone?
Good God.
yeah. So
I once screwed macaroni up myself, but I did not do that.
You know,
I skipped one of the instructions on there and ended up making soup to macaroni.
It's not horrible.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, so the story including the fire alarm there actually reminds me. I think I've told this story before, but it kind of reminds me of a thing that happened at Everfree Northwest when I was there this year, or way earlier back this year, that I somehow slept through.
Well,
You slept through a what?
Okay.
A fire alarm.
Yeah, essentially what it amounts to is, I think it was like the end of the first day, or I went to bed, everything was normal. The next morning, everything seemed fine until I overheard some people talking about, like, a false fire alarm in the middle of the night. And I was baffled by this. I asked them, like, what? They clued me in, like, apparently a fire alarm had been tripped, like, as, like, a prank or by accident or something in the middle of the night. Everyone had evacuated, and it turned out to be a false alarm. Everyone went back to bed, and I slept right fucking through it.
How do you sleep through a fire alarm? They are designed to be the most annoying thing in the world that you cannot ignore.
Okay. Well, for one thing, if there was an actual fire, my instincts would have kicked in. They always seem to do that. Two.
You say that.
You see, here's the thing about it. I had a very fucking exhausting day.
Tone.
So
You don't sleep through. That's not normal. That's not normal.
What about me is normal?
Fair point.
To be fair,
Nothing.
I'm a heavy sleeper myself. If a hurricane went off, I wouldn't even hear it.
I mean, hell. Someone apparently slept through a car crashing into their bedroom, and then when their mom called, but then when their mother called out to them asking, "What was that?" That was what woke them up.
Okay. It's just every single fire alarm I've ever heard in my life has always just been at this pitch where it just kind of it hurts my ears, and that's what they're designed to be. Yeah. It's designed to where you can hear it no matter what.
Yeah, well, apparently I didn't. I slept right through it. Right.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, and speaking of cars.
Another story from Darkness, I take it?
Yep. Or would you like to hear the story about a miswritten bottle?
Let Darkness tell.
Let Darkness choose his stories. You're not him, all right? Just let him tell.
Yeah.
I suppose I should start with a miswed bottle, because it did lead up to the car.
Oh, boy. Yes, that'll be fun. Tell us stories, Senpai.
I'd say in honor of Blank Page, gather around, kiddies. Uncle Darkness has a story for us.
Yeah.
That's my line.
No, that's been Blank's line since the start. Fucking
okay.
Oh, Malfour, shut up.
I know.
I have to say, be nice, Paladin. Come on, Darkness. Let's hear it.
Okay, then. I like to know this story as a misread label.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Oh, God, indeed.
Did you read Coca-Cola's crack cocaine and try to snort it?
Oh, no, you were not.
Just shut up and listen, please.
And mind you, Ben picks his moments to call me, and he called me as I was about to get into the frickin' tub. It's like, is there no sacred? Is there no such thing as sacredity anymore? For goodness sake. What is it, Ben? Oh, what was that awful noise? Sorry, man, I've got the hiccups. The hiccups. You're calling me for the bloody hiccups, okay? What do you expect me to do? Do you know a cure for them? A cure for hiccups? Really?
A few.
But do you know anything? Well, my family seems to believe that vinegar is the best way to do it. You're kidding me. Yes, a shot of vinegar, your hiccups would be gone. Oh, a mouthful of vinegar. Whatever. You're not pranking me, are you? No, Ben, I'm serious, because I want to get this call over with, because I like to have my daily bath, if you don't mind. To wash away the stink of the day. So please, just go to your kitchen and get the vinegar. But I don't like vinegar. Did you actually try vinegar? Well, I don't like the smell. So how the hell do you not know if you like it if you haven't even tried it? You might like it. Just go and get some vinegar. So it's in the kitchen. Yes, in a glass bottle. You can't miss it. And it says vinegar on the label.
I think I see where this is going.
Okay, I think I found it. Good. Now, if you don't mind, I will be hanging up. Thank you. And of course, after I got out of the bath, I found a load of missed calls on my phone from Ben for some reason. I suppose I should see what's up with him now. Hi, mate. Did you find the vinegar? Hey, buddy. Hey. When did I become your buddy? What's this? Could you come over here? Not right now. Why? Please. I got something exciting to show you. I'm a bit worried. What is it? You have to come over. Ben, that's not a Hello? Damn it. Hey, go straight to answer phone. Rude. Fine. Time to get dressed and go out the door and head to his. I knocked on the door. No answer. I knocked again. No answer. I was getting really impatient, and as I was about to leave, I heard crashing and banging. And it sounds like he's falling down the stairs. Like, what? Ben, you okay in there? What the fuck's all that noise? I'm gonna get the door. You don't sound too good. Are you okay? Hang on. You made it. What happened and what contest in hell did I just win? What is wrong with you? I found the vinegar and guess what? I got a secret. What? I love vinegar. What? Are you sure you found the vinegar? Because this is not the side effects of vinegar. It's in, I think it's in the living room. Okay. Holy shit. Oh,
He found vodka,
you want
didn't
some? It's bloody vodka.
It's not even the right color. How the fuck does he mistake vinegar for vodka? Oh,
You're
It
a
started with a
retard.
V, Tom. It started
Don't
with a V.
question it.
What did I specifically told you through the phone? Find the vinegar, and I found it. It says vodka. Vodka, not vinegar. Don't you know how to read? To be honest, I did not do well in English. And how the fuck do you know English? I'm not a good reader. Oh my goodness.
Also,
me.
another thing. You said take a gulp of it, like one gulp.
Yeah.
How much did he actually drink?
I had to ask
He's
him,
gonna get to that part.
how did this happen? Well, I did your advice. I had a sip. Yeah. And then another zip. Oh no. And I continued from there. Of course. You did.
He drank half the
Oh,
bottle,
boy.
didn't he?
He nearly drank the
God damn it,
whole
why'd you
bottle.
spoil this?
I had a feeling.
It's kind of
Nearly
obvious.
the whole bottle.
Jesus. I bet he was feeling that one in the morning.
He was. So, you gonna
Feeling the
finish
weight
that?
of his stupidity.
Oh,
I am not gonna. I don't drink alcohol, so therefore I'm not going to. Can I have it? No, you've had enough. Come on. I would just sit down if I was you and let me get you a bucket. Why would I need a? No, no. Get to the
Bucket?
toilet. Get to the toilet. I'm gonna find a bucket. Oh,
Bucket.
Oh my god.
please say you actually got it in there. Oh, you did something right. It's a miracle. Now sit down. Stay there. I'm gonna call the doctor because I really do not know how much you should have not consumed. So I best ask my local doctor to stay there and don't move. And if you puke, do it in the bucket. You think I was born in a barn? Just stick with the bucket.
Just stick with the bucket.
Or otherwise putting your head down the pan. Okay. Oh dear.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, it
Yeah,
gets
stop
better.
the Nick there. Hang on, I'll just pass it to him. Okay. Hello? Yes, my mate has consumed pretty much nearly a whole bottle of vodka, and I need to know, is that really bad for him at all? Because I'm not really much knowing of what vodka would do or how much you should consume. Well, what's he like? He's completely pissed out of his head, if that's a blunt answer. And he's been puking. Has he thrown up any blood? No. But I think he's close to passing out. Okay. As long as he basically, his pulse doesn't go ballistic, or basically as long as he doesn't, like, keep falling over and causing self-harm to himself. I think he may be all right, but just a heads up, he may have a nasty hangover when he does get up. But if
Oh,
his
fuck
condition
yeah.
changes, just let me know. Oh, I will. And don't worry, I'll let him know. All right. Good news, Ben. You're gonna live. Bad news is you're gonna wish you were dead because you're gonna have one wicked hangover.
Oh,
Don't leave me. As much as I want to, I have no choice but to stay with you until your parents come home.
oh,
Doctor's
bet you
orders.
enjoyed the.
Yes.
Especially since it was probably their vodka he drank.
Mate, what? If I do live, you're gonna live. You're not gonna die. You're not gonna suffer alcohol poisoning. Nothing like that. Just a hangover. What do you want to ask me? Could you teach me how to read? Really? All right, Ben. I will teach you how to read. Promise? Ugh, promise.
You should maybe
I didn't
teach him how to
hear you.
life.
And yeah, I had to ask him one question before he basically passed out on the couch. I am curious, whose alcohol is this you consume? Because I mean, unless you drank it before. Nope, my first time. And I think it might be my last. Let's hope so. So, whose is it? Is it your father? No, he's not much of a drinker. Your mother? She's into wine. Oh, please say it isn't. I think it might be my brother's. Oh, he's gonna fucking kill you.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no. Please don't let him go commando on my ass. Sorry. I don't
You
deal
dug
with
your
my
own grave
brothers.
there, pal.
You're on your own in this one. It's a family issue.
Please don't go commando on my ass. I think we found a title for today's episode.
Let's talk about dumbasses for a while.
No, please don't go commando on my ass.
For a while.
Oh, and next time, Dylan, join us next time for more stupidity.
Malafor.
And the
From Ben.
That's my thing. Don't do my
yes.
I know. I just saw your thing.
Don't.
And the way the story ends was next morning. His brother came back early and he was pissed. All you can hear was him shouting down the street. You little shit. I was saving that for my birthday and you nearly drank the whole fucking bottle. I bought that with my allowance. Oh dear.
Oh dear, right.
And the moral of the story, which I found out later on, about a year later, I should have never taught Ben how to read. Because it's thanks to me, he got his first ever driver's license.
Oh. First ever? Does that mean he's had more than one?
Well, he tried, except basically he failed because one thing, he doesn't know how to read, so he probably misread the answers and didn't even do it properly. And now, thanks to me, I got him a driver's license.
Oh no.
May the road
Join us
And-
next time for
Help us all.
DBC.
And how did that go?
Oh, well, I don't know if is there time for it still?
Oh, we've got 7 minutes.
All right, I could explain all in 7 minutes. A year later, after teaching Ben how to read, which was frustrating, but he got there. And then I heard word he got his driver's license and was already rushed to the shops to get his brand new car.
Good.
Because he doesn't work for a living, he gets money off his parents. And they are successful, so they have tons of money. And, oh no. Money to Ben equals mayhem and stupidity.
He crashed it before he even got home, didn't he?
I had to go around there and
until-
ask him the question. Well, his parents, because he wasn't there. Is Ben here? Well, he's just gone down to get himself a car. Really? Yeah. Okay. I might as well ask you the question. Shoot. How Are you sure Ben's capable of driving a car? Well, I think he's responsible enough now. Are you sure about that? Yes. About a year and a half ago, he almost burnt down the house. Well, yeah, a year ago, he mistaked vodka. Well, he mistaked vinegar for frickin' vodka. Well, yeah, that's true. But it's a year later, he's matured. He can handle himself. I know you're meant to be a respectful mother, but there's a thing called looking out for your child, and he's still a child.
Oh, dick move,
Savage.
but honest.
Sorry to be so blunt. He's 19. He can make his own choices. I mean, what's the worst he could do? He's in a car. Anything?
Crash and burn and die and go to hell and burn some more.
And he came back with a car. If you could call it a car. What is that? It's my new car. You like it? It's an American 4x4. How did you get that? I managed to. Well, believe it or not, my father knows communications since he runs a car dealership. Oh no! And I have chose a car, and he got it for me. This thing is so big it won't even fit on the British road. You're mad. You can't even handle that. You just passed your license. You should start off small, something slow, and work yourself up. Not
Sorry to interrupt, but please tell me at least bought a car for British roads that had the steering wheel on the right side.
It's an American 4x4, one of those big Jeeps. Like
About
things.
to say no. If it's American, it's gonna be on the left.
Fuck. So he's just made it harder for himself.
Yes, he has. I mean, it's my car, so I think I can look after it. I mean, I drove a car before. Yeah, a practice car. Nothing like this. This is different. Please, Ben, take my advice. Take that thing back. Get whatever money you spent on it and get something decent. Please. I'm trying to offer you some advice here that will help you and keep you alive, maybe.
Maybe is the operative word here.
America.
You're just jealous because I got a motor before you. I'm not bloody jealous. I wouldn't buy something like this. This is madness. Please, return the car. Yeah. Then, of course, he was too arrogant. He drove off
God.
in it. You know, if you crash, don't come crying to me. I mean it. And of course, he was calling, and I was like, no, I'm not going to answer the call. Just ignore. I'm not going to answer that bloody phone. And in the fifth
He
turn...
caved and answered the bloody phone.
Oh, why do you have to be such a liability? Hello, Ben. Did you crash it? No, I didn't crash it. You wouldn't be calling me for no reason. Where are you? I didn't crash it, okay? I promise. I mean it. Oh, okay then. Say that you didn't crash it. I'm just stuck. What do you mean you're stuck? Did you get? Please say you didn't take the back roads, because that thing is way too big for the back roads. No. Do you know one of the parks in our neighborhood? There's two bloody parks. Which one? The one with the forest. Why? I got it stuck in the ditch. You got it stuck in a ditch. It's a fucking 4x4. How did you get it stuck in a ditch? Please come and help me. Can't you get out the ditch? I've been trying that, but I am stuck. Then get out the motor. I can't get out the motor. Why? Because the damn door's stuck between the door and the tree. Then climb over your seats and get out through the back. I'm not mucking up my freaking seat. Let's get this car. Just please climb over. Serious, man, I need your help. I'm panicking. Right. I'm coming over there, and I swear, if you could get out there on yourself, I am going. You know what? I don't even know what I'm going to do, because you are stressing me out bad right now. Why is it every time I talk to you, you make me stress? Why am I still friends with you? Because you have a heart of gold? Because I think I'm a bit too light-hearted. I've been right there.
Wow.
And I got on my bike and I was looking for him. I was like, where are you exactly in the bloody woods? Well, can't you find the tracks? Suppose... Oh, hang on a moment. I see you. Are you sure it's me? I don't see anyone else with a 4x4. Well, can you help me out? I'm walking in a... I thought you said you're trapped in a ditch. I am. This is not a ditch. It's a swamp.
What?
Holy
He got half the motor stuck in the swamp. I keep trying to go backwards, and every time he does, it just sinks even lower. Will you stop it? Why won't it move? Probably because the motor's too bloody heavy and it's sinking in the mud and deeper into the swamp. Can you lift? Can you pull it out? I can't pull it out. I'm not freaking Hercules. I'm a human being. I'm just gonna call the freaking AA or something. Hang on, I got an idea. Ben, what are you doing? It could work. After all, it's meant for all terrain. I know it's meant for all terrain, but I don't think it's meant for a swamp. What are you?
No, it's not.
He put it into drive and went right forward, making it
Good.
even worse.
Mother of God.
I think.
Why was it even in a swamp?
I had to ask him that. I think it was a bad idea. What made you think? You're freaking sinking? I'm sinking like Titanic. No, you're not. You're not in the ocean, and you're not on a ship. You're in a bloody car in a swamp. Why did you even take this road? To get to the other side, so I make a shortcut. What? What logic is that, a shortcut? Driving through a swamp? I just thought we would make it. Well, you buggered it, I know that. Right, I'm just going to call people, okay? Please don't call my parents, they'll kill me. They're going to find out because you're going to have no motor at the end of this. It'd be fine. I don't think it will be, I'll be honest.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend's stuck in the bloody swamp. You're going to need to bring a tow truck or something. It's a bloody American motor. Great big thing.
It's a great big thing. About to say, go get a fucking 1 ton, just drag it.
And as they got him out, because the motor was pitch white, half of it was white, the other half was thick mud. And
Yeah.
it just
That ruins the paint job right there.
My car. Sod your car. Your parents are gonna kill you. You spent a lot of money on this. I could get the money back if it's or get it fixed. One, I don't think basically it covers swamp damage or idiot damage.
If only.
You'd be lucky if they could fix this. And they can't. The electrics are buggered. The engine is flooded. Lots of stuff of it is just mucked up. Even the wheels are just conk up with mud. And the
Yep.
disc brakes. Oh, God. It was a mess.
I'd imagine so.
Wow.
So he couldn't get it fixed. He couldn't basically get his money back. So he scrapped it. Really, Ben? That's a waste of money. Don't worry. I got the next best thing. Oh,
God.
please don't.
Did he get a tank?
Ta-da! He got worse than a tank.
Good God.
Isn't it beautiful? It's a racing bike. Why have you got a racing bike?
A racing bike.
Isn't it wonderful? It's a supercharged freaking motorbike. Are you mad? Don't worry. I take every precaution. See? I just put the keys in like this, and all I have to do is rev it, and I'd be riding on my merry way. And I don't think that's a good idea. Please don't.
Did he?
Don't do it, Ben. Look, it's simple, okay? And I won't crash it into a swamp. I just stick on the roads with this one. If you can stay on the bike. All I have to do is turn the key, rev the engine, and he revved it, and he did a wheelie, and then he let go because he was shocked. And yeah, his ass scraped along the road, and the bike was still going.
Oh no.
And on that beautiful note, it is time for us to end this episode of Jibber. We're 5 minutes. We're 5 minutes over time as it is. So
Yeah, this was beautiful. Darkness will have more stories for us next time.
yes,
ladies
thank
and
you all, ladies.
Featuring Ben.
Thank you all for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We hope to see you again next time. Thanks for tuning in. Keep listening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ben is stupid.